Samson's Last Prayer, a story of strength and betrayal. During the time when Israel was oppressed by the Philistines, the people cried out for a deliverer, and God chose a man for this mission, Samson. Samson was no ordinary man. From birth, he was set apart by God. He was given superhuman strength. He could tear apart lions with his bare hands, defeat entire armies alone, and bring terror to his enemies. But Samson had a fatal weakness. His heart was drawn to Philistine women, and this weakness would lead to his greatest downfall. Delilah's betrayal. One day, Samson met a beautiful Philistine woman named Delilah. Her eyes were deep and mysterious like the sea, both mesmerizing and dangerous. Samson fell deeply in love with her, but Delilah's heart did not belong to him. The Philistine rulers approached Delilah with a tempting offer of silver. "Find out the secret of his strength, and we will reward you handsomely." That night, Samson was at Delilah's house. She prepared a lavish meal, gave him wine, and whispered in his ear, "Samson, tell me, what makes you so strong?" Samson smiled. He had no intention of telling the truth. "If I am tied with 7 fresh bowstrings that have never been dried, I will become weak like any other man." Delilah immediately told the Philistine rulers. As Samson slept, she bound him with the bowstrings and called out, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." Samson awoke and easily snapped the bowstrings. Delilah was frustrated, but she didn't give up. The next day, she asked again, "How can you be tied up and lose your strength?" Samson played with her once more. "If I am tied with new ropes that have never been used, I will become weak." Again, Delilah bound him as he slept, and again Samson broke free effortlessly. Delilah wept before him. "If you truly loved me, you would share your secret with me." Samson could not see the deception behind her tears. And finally, he made his greatest mistake. "My strength is in my hair. From birth, God has given me this power. If my hair is cut, I will become like any other man." That night, Samson fell asleep on Delilah's lap. As he slept, she cut his hair, strand by strand. Then she called for the Philistines. "Come, take him. He is powerless now." When Samson woke up, his strength was gone. The Philistines captured him, gouged out his eyes, and threw him into chains. The mighty warrior was now a broken prisoner. Samson's Last Prayer. The Philistines held a grand celebration in their temple to mock Samson. Thousands of people gathered to watch. "Where is your strength now, Samson? Show us." Blind and weak, Samson was led to the temple pillars. His hands trembled, but then he felt something. His hair had begun to grow back, and Samson, for the first time in his life, prayed with all his heart, "Lord, please, give me strength one last time. Let me defeat my enemies before I die." At that moment, God heard his prayer. With all his might, Samson pushed against the pillars. The temple began to shake. "Let me die with the Philistines." And in an instant, the temple collapsed. Samson and thousands of Philistines perished in the rubble. That day, Israel took one step closer to freedom. God had not abandoned Samson in his final moment. Lessons from the story. The gifts given by God must be used wisely, or they can be taken away. True strength is not just physical, it is spiritual and moral. No one is beyond redemption. Even after his greatest failures, Samson turned back to God and was still used for his purpose. The end. God loves you.